The following program was produced by an independent community producer. The opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of the ECAT staff or board of directors.
A divine healer or a devilish murderer? You decide on today's edition of Liberty at Home. Welcome back, and we're here today for our latest installment of Liberty at Home. I'm your host, Pastor Adam Riveiro, and I lead the Liberty Baptist Church over on Route 138. As always, we're broadcasting from ECAT Studios in beautiful Easton, Massachusetts, soon to be home to a Planet Fitness. Yes, you heard it here first, folks. Well, this season on Liberty at Home, we've been taking a chapter-by-chapter view of the book of Proverbs. Today, we've landed in Proverbs 10, so let's get reading in today's passage. Join me beginning in verse number 11. The mouth of a righteous man is a well of life, but violence covereth the mouth of the wicked. Hatred stirreth up strifes, but love covereth all sins. In the lips of him that hath understanding, wisdom is found, but a rod is for the back of him that is void of understanding. Wise men lay up knowledge, but the mouth of the foolish is near destruction. Now, drop down to verse number 18, where it says this: He that hideth hatred with lying lips, and he that uttereth slander, is a fool. In the multitude of words there wanteth not sin, but he that refraineth his lips is wise. The tongue of the just is as choice silver, the heart of the wicked is little worth. The lips of the righteous feed many, but fools die for want of wisdom. It's funny how certain things stick out in our minds. Years ago, when I was in Bible college, I remember something a visiting pastor said during chapel. Now, I don't remember who he was or even what the message was about, but he said one thing that was so powerful, I wrote it immediately down in the flyleaf of my Bible as soon as he said it. He said, "Your tongue can either be a divine healer or a devilish murderer." In the 8 verses we just read, you probably noticed a theme. The tongue has more power than we often realize. Verse 11 tells us that when used rightly, the tongue is a wellspring of life. The next verse says it can deliver healing grace to those who've made sinful decisions. A wisely used tongue, according to the later verses, is as valuable as great riches, and it can bless many. When we choose to use our words for good, the impact can be incredible. But if we're honest, we've all been on the receiving end of words that were anything but good. You see, there's a dark side to the tongue as well. You know the old saying, sticks and stones can break my bones, but words will never hurt me? Let's be honest, that's one of the biggest lies ever perpetrated on mankind. Think about it. You may have broken a bone as a kid and hardly remember it now. Almost certainly you don't feel the effects of it anymore. But on the other hand, I bet you can still recall when someone told you that you'd never amount to anything, or when a teacher called you stupid, or when the boss berated you in front of the whole office, or when a so-called friend mocked you in front of your peers. You see, this is the dark side of the tongue. It can be a devilish murderer. The B side of the verses we just read shows us how destructive words can be. They stir up strife. They lead to violent thoughts and actions. They show a lack of wisdom. Ultimately, they cause destruction. In James chapter 3, which might be the most vivid passage about the tongue in all the Bible, James puts it this way: How great a matter a little fire kindleth. An uncontrolled tongue, like a small spark, can start a blaze that's soon out of control. Later in Proverbs 18, Solomon sums it up like this: Death and life are in the power of the tongue. So this week, think about the power you hold in your words. Look, does the shop clerk really deserve a scolding because they're out of your favorite peanut butter? Or should you respond with maturity? Do you really need to show the person who cut you off in traffic what you think of them? Or should you hold your tongue? Does your family need to hear you ranting and raving when things don't go your way? Or should you show them grace? It's your choice. Will your tongue be a divine healer or a devilish murderer? Well, that's going to do it for the latest episode of Liberty at Home. We'll be back next week with another 5-minute dose of God's Word. But in the meantime, why don't you come visit us in person at Liberty Baptist Church? We meet for services on Sundays at 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. and on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. You can find us in person at 800 Washington Street in Easton or online at mylibertybaptist.org. Well, until next time, this is Pastor Adam Riveiro reminding you that where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. See you on ECAT next week for another edition of Liberty at Home.